What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Stoic Context. Today, we are going to react to another Kevin Samuels video. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm going to be saving my commentary for the end of the video, so stay tuned for that.
Jessica. Hello. Yeah, where's your camera? All right. So what I would do is while you getting ready, I'm gonna let Stacy come back in while y'all are getting ready. Go ahead, Stacy. Okay, so here's the thing. Let me level this out for you. Okay. You got a STEM
Okay.
job, right?
Yes, I do.
All right. When's the longest relationship you've ever had?
A year.
How long ago was that?
It was like in college.
So how long ago was that?
Like 6 years ago.
All right. Did you go to a major university?
I did, the University of Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Go Bama.
Yeah.
Roll
Tide, I guess.
Right. So if I went to a major university, I know I saw plenty of. See, what I'm hearing from you is you heard, but you hadn't had a relationship for 6 years. Why?
Oh no. Well, like you mentioned before, I have been heavily involved in trying to move up in my career. And, I really feel like I just haven't found that right one that I'm like attracted to. And then when I do find the very attractive ones, I feel like they're just kind of not interested sometimes, which is fine.
Okay.
But
All right.
I just really haven't found anybody
Okay. All
attractive.
right. All right. So again, who ended the relationship in college? Was it you or him?
It was him.
So here's one thing I don't accept from women. I've been moving up in my career. I'm sorry. Everyone moves up in their career, and now black women seem to be able to get married and have children just fine. Why can't you? Why can't black women like yourself? And you say, and
Right.
you say, and you
I
say,
totally
and you
agree.
say you can't find the right kind of man, more or less.
Yeah, I kind of unfortunately have a looks kind of requirement that I'm looking for. I don't want to be rated, but I'm just saying that I like them like you, Kevin.
Hold on. Shout out to my dog Ayo Canseco. Big Facts Podcast in the house. That's my dog. Yeah, your godfather. Yes, that's my boy. I watch his content. That dude has a good show, man. He got a good show and a good message. And a lot of you nothing ass batches. not you, Stacy. But man, the brother has good content. I'm gonna put his link down in the description. Good stuff. All right. Now let's be serious, Stacy. Let's be serious. What I'm hearing you basically is like you sound like you're talking like a man. I got a particular look and I got a particular that. He needs them. Okay. Do you want to be married?
I
You want to have any children?
Yes,
Why the hesitation?
because I used to want to have like 3 kids, but now I'm okay with like one.
No, don't do that to it. First off, don't. Why'd you go from 3 to 1?
Um, just like you mentioned the time, and I'm 28 now, and I mean 3 would be a little hectic. I'm just a little bit more
Do
mature.
you want to work
Back
to pay
then, I think
significant bills after you're pregnant?
I do not.
So you want to be a stay-at-home wife. You want to be everything that I talk about.
Pretty much, but I could do work from home.
But
I could own my
no, no, no,
little
no, 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 no. No, you want to not have to work to pay significant bills. You want your kids to be able to go to University of Alabama if they want to. Let's knock this bull crap off. You reduce the amount of kids because you're older now, but you still want the same things. And I don't judge you for that. My thing is, why all of a sudden is this starting to make sense now? When you went to college with Becky and Mylene and Marisol, and they were sorority girls going to school in engineering and getting married and having kids out of college. I went to OU, University of Oklahoma. I saw this. It's not as though black women don't do that.
Right. And unfortunately, on campus, I did not run into the right one. I was in a relationship
You were in a
and I
relationship
dated.
for 1 year.
Yes, one of those years I was, and then I dated, and it just didn't go anywhere. I've got plenty of options
Okay.
at my door. They're just
You
not.
have plenty of options at your door right now.
I do.
All right. And let me guess. How tall are you?
5'5".
Right. And he needs to be how tall?
Like at least 5'10" or 5'9". Not good with the math, but or
You're
the
a,
height.
you're a STEM person, but so
Okay, I just meant like 5'10" would be great.
5'10". So you're not a he hadn't so he doesn't have to be 6 feet. Okay.
Now, yes, but minimum 5'10".
Right.
I mean,
Let's
that's me
so
kind of.
again, this will work better if you just go ahead and tell me the truth because I'm hearing all kind of deception. You're another one of these 6 feet chicks. You're telling me you're lowering. See what you're doing is you're sitting here trying to maneuver and lower the standard, but the truth is you still want a guy who's 6 feet tall, and he needs to make how much money?
I would like him to make at least $100,000 a year.
I mean,
Well, actually,
how and
one
what
hundred
percentage
twenty
and what
thousand
percentage
because
of
they take out
what
taxes.
what percentage of men make over the $120,000 in this country?
According to your podcast,
It's not a,
maybe 10%.
it's not according to my podcast. It's the truth.
Right.
So again, ma'am, you're exactly what I say. You have not your mindset was not a bone relationship. You were out here living up your Alabama STEM life, having hot girl summer, running up your numbers, wasting your time. And now you're almost 30, and now you're having to make deals with the devil, and the man that you get, you're not gonna be happy with because you want him to be 6 feet tall and earn over six figures, and that's fine, man. That is fine. But what the question is, are you what those men want?
Honestly, I do believe I am. I'm fit, femininely about the community. I cook,
When was
I
it?
clean.
Okay, when was it? So tell me about your fiance.
Okay, Kevin, I don't have a fiance
That's
right
my
now.
point, ma'am. See, and that's see. Here's the thing. Remember, I did a broadcast and saying you can believe your value of a car is one thing, right? I did a video talking about high value, and you're a smart woman. You can. I said you can have a car, and you can have taken great care of that car. You know every mile you put on that car, but when you set it on the corner, there is an upper limit and a lower limit of how much that car is worth. It's called a value. And who determines value? Is it
The buyer?
the seller? I mean, not the. That's right. The market, the buyers, not the seller. So if you feel that you are what they want, then why aren't they trying to buy you? That's
I really haven't put myself out there in the right spaces.
what city
And
do you live in?
I live in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay, that could be a problem, but that could be a problem.
Yeah.
So take it that way. Let's assume you are. Birmingham is not an affluent city. What percentage of Birmingham residents make over six figures?
I'm
See,
not sure.
and this is what I'm trying to show that you want men to come to you. You got to go to where the men that you want are. And then you got to compete. You're not competitive. See, you knew you wanted to go. Why didn't you go to Jackson State or Florida A&M? Why didn't you go to an HBCU that had the degree path that you went to University of Alabama for?
I guess
Let's knock it
I
off.
didn't recognize this
Accreditation, and
accreditation.
because that's what it was. The value. One degree is more valuable than the other. So you carried your butt over to a PWI because the HBCU while you could get the same degree, it wasn't going to be as valuable. You knew you had to compete to get into University of Alabama, and the standards to get into probably a parallel HBCU would not have been as nearly as tough. See, y'all know how to do this. A lot of black women, honestly, when it comes to finding a black man, you're simply lazy. And that's fine. White women will get them. Go ahead. White women will get them. You guys continue to go ahead and be lazy. White women, Hispanic women, and Asian women will continue to snap up all the high value black men. And you guys continue to say they don't exist, they're gay, or they're marrying out because they can't find y'all because you're not there.
I agree with you, but do they put in as much work as
well? Hold on. See. Say it again. Oh, say it again. Say it again.
No, I mean,
do they put in as much work as what? As what?
As African American women.
What do you mean? Do they put in as much work? No. The black men, high value black men, put in as much work doing what?
No, not men. The Asian women, the white women that
yes,
you speak of.
They put in more work. Yes. Okay. Listen, ma'am. They put in more work. What do you hear from black men who typically date out? And they say, I like black women. But what do they say typically? If you're being honest.
It's just, okay, from what I can think of, they say things like, I hear the words ghetto and ratchet a lot and things like that. And I think that is just...
Hold up. Stop. We're talking about the men on the caliber you talking about you want. What do they say? And you're saying they say ghetto and ratchet.
For African American women.
Hold on. I need you to stop and breathe. Because what you're about to do is invalidate what they're saying versus saying, is it valid? They're the market. The end consumer of a product that is a woman is a man. You put the car out. If the car was what he wanted, he would buy because he bought another car. What you're basically trying to say is there's something wrong with the buyer instead of the product.
Okay, but if it's rumored that like Hondas always break down on you, they're going to be less likely to.
Then whose responsibility? No, then I need you to listen. Then whose responsibility is it to make sure that Honda has a better reputation?
Honda.
Exactly. Black woman.
Okay, I hear you.
I mean, Dr. Tia-San Johnson, who teaches Black masculinity studies at the University of California, Santa Barbara, it's Black masculine studies. And I was shocked when he said some of the major enrollees in his class are white women. And when he asked these women, why are you here? And with some of the responses he used to get back, I like black men. I like black men. I want to learn more about the culture so I can be a better fit. What effort or work have you individually done to try to separate yourself from a competitive pack of women to find the kind of black man you say you want?
Well, I know for me, I have those great skills like cooking and I keep everything neat and clean.
What have you done to separate yourself? That's if he finds you. I ask you, what have you done to separate yourself from the pack? And you said it yourself. You're living in Birmingham with your light hind under a bushel. And I said on another program, only a fool hides value. The net of it is you've done nothing.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Then whose fault is it?
I do agree that it is my fault that I haven't met the high value man that I seek.
There you go. And see, the conversation has traditionally been that these black men don't exist. They exist. It's just that black women like yourself are not prioritizing finding them. And you ask the question, are these other women putting in the effort? They are apparently so because they're getting them. And see, the way you're about to frame it is, they're just picking them because they're not black women. No, that's not how this works. See, I got news for a lot of you sisters. Black men don't have near the disrespect or disdain for you guys as you have for us. Look at you. Oh, you don't think so? You know, oh
No,
no. I saw somebody in the comments. Listen, outside of rap, what rap was talking about B's ain't shit, but O's and you don't see men don't make songs of scrubs and I'm independent and I don't need no man. Black women have made it real clear that you don't prioritize black men. We are here to for what? To lift heavy objects and to fall on top of you every now and then. The last relationship you had with a black man was 6 years ago. That was by my man 28. That was 25% of your life ago. That's how little of importance we are to you. You put more emphasis in a working for a white man's company than you have than being a black man's mate.
and that's why I agree with you. I think it's important to prioritize getting out there and meeting someone.
Mm.
So I totally agree with that.
But at what age do you need to start doing that though?
I think 22, 23 is a fine time because you need to fine
You should have
tune,
been married
you
by
need
that
to
time.
learn. And Kevin, that's what I wanted to ask you.
You should
If
have been
you're
married by
supposed
that
to get
time.
married, but high value starts at 30, correct?
Yeah, that's for
And
us.
so if you
That starts with see. What do you think you get to? So what do you
okay.
think you can have a man in his 20s who's making the kind of money to have a stay-at-home wife? You do live here. Men don't make that kind of money until they're 35 plus. Again, you're the one with the standards in the top 10%. So you got to go where the top 10% of men are, and that's what they are. But again, you're still talking as though men got to do something and change something. You're not talking like I got to compete and got to get out here and hustle to find a man. A lot of sisters really just don't think they should have to do anything to find a black man.
No, I totally agree
All
with
right, but I
you.
got other people to come on. I appreciate it.
Listen, this was a crazy episode, of course, but to address this point, that is 1,000% the truth. A lot of women, let me be a lot more specific. A lot of black women don't think or believe that they need to put in any work for any man. And that's the thing. They've gotten to the point now in which they assume that they're going to sit back, they're going to do whatever they want, they're going to go wherever they want, they're going to neglect certain priorities, they're going to party, they're going to live life. And then all of that is the focal point of them for the next 10, 15 years, chilling with their friends, going out, having fun. They get a bit older, they turn around and see that all of their peers are starting to get married. All of their coworkers are in relationships. And then they start to sit back and think, well, what am I gonna do now? Oh, let me just go ahead and pick a high value man off the tree and hopefully he wants me. But then when you look at it, you have no relationship skills. You're clearly like your muscles is atrophied, so you clearly have no skills. You clearly can't support them. You don't know what they want. You don't know where to find them. Why would they want you? Especially when they get into these conversations of this guy didn't take me seriously. This guy, all of these guys don't take me seriously, and I just don't know why. Or they treated me badly. Relationships are reflective. And also, the said situations you get yourself in, you should have known that these outcomes were likely to happen. If it was a man and this man got with a woman that only wanted him for his money, why would you expect any loyalty? If you got with a man for strictly money and finance reasons and financial reasons, why would you expect him to take you seriously? Why would you even think that you would be able to stay? Because you can just be replaced for the next person that is looking for the same thing that's less of a headache, doesn't want more, is going to actually contribute something. You see, when women like this tell these stories, they really make it seem like they have a chance to go out there and actually find this. The fact that you're gonna go out there and look for a 6 foot man in shape, making over six figures in Birmingham, Alabama, and then hold on, you want that guy to then only date you. Very, very, very unrealistic standards. And then a woman like this would keep going, keep looking, keep looking. Then as men ain't this, men ain't that, where all the good men go. Then the cat sitters, and then the rich auntie taking care of their siblings' children. It never fails. Women like this have to put more emphasis on finding a man, and not specifically finding a one of high value. You just need to find a man that just makes money. Because who's to even say you're entitled to this man? You're not entitled to this man, and there's a high chance that you won't even find this man. So hopefully she's learned something from this. It's a very interesting conversation.
Lauren, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Kevin?
I'm good. All right. So what did I get wrong?
I actually don't feel like you got anything wrong at all. I'm a new subscriber and I am very enthusiastic as a 33-year-old single woman to come into your knowledge and your information. And I'm very grateful. I just wanted to say that I feel as though religion causes people to kind of put responsibility into something or someone outside of them,
Mm-hmm.
waiting on the Lord, putting it in God's hands, things of that nature, which in psychologically uh, kind of justifies
It absolves
laziness
you of
or
accountability and responsibility.
exactly.
So
So I just wanted to add that I feel like everybody, men and women, have to take responsibility for the things that they do in life, the moves that they make, the mates that they attract. It's all
so are you
on
actively
you.
dating?
I am actively dating. In fact, I live in South Florida currently, and I actually want to move. So I'm open to moving as well.
Okay. Um, South Florida, like Miami, or where is that?
Actually closer to the Boca Raton
So
area.
are you
So
want? Do you also want to get? Are you wanting to get married, have children? What?
absolutely.
I
And
don't.
like
I
I
don't
was
know.
saying in the chat, I'm also open
Yeah,
to
in the chat on
understanding
my
that I
YouTube
am
channel.
33.
Oh, I
Yes.
can't. I can't follow that. There's
Yeah, I was
4,500
just chit
people in
chatting
there.
with other people that I am open with me being 33. I am open to being a stepmother as well, but I am healthy.
Okay.
I
Let's
do
have the
take
comment.
care of
Okay,
myself.
I didn't read that because I'm here.
Okay.
Uh, you're 33. How tall are you?
I'm 5'2".
Uh, dress size.
3.
Dress size 3. And how much did you
I'm
weigh?
125.
Just 125. How do you work out frequently?
I do actually. And actually I lost 50 pounds. So I again
50
take
pounds from
active.
where? How long ago did you lose that?
That was 2 years ago.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. So
Are you,
taking responsibility, like I was
are
saying.
you keeping it off?
Yes, complete lifestyle change wasn't a quick fix. I did it the healthy way, no surgery.
So so after so what are you doing to actively get back out there and meet to make it possible to meet men that you would like to marry? What are you doing to actively facilitate that?
Well, now that South Florida is opening up more, I've been
Okay,
going
prior
to
to COVID.
dinner.
Prior to COVID.
I was going to happy hours at hotels, just socializing,
Okay.
brunches. I'm not into the club scene at all, so I know that I have
At
to,
your at
in
your
order to.
age, at your age, I would consider a matchmaker.
Okay, thank you.
I
That's good
mean,
advice.
because you don't have time to waste.
Absolutely, I
Organically,
agree.
is what you do when you're 21. At 33, you got to start using cheat codes.
Okay.
Matchmakers.
Okay.
And you're also competing against 21-year-olds. I mean, how many children do you want?
One would be fine.
uh, then that means you don't need a high value man.
Absolutely. I agree.
Okay, so you're a regular guy, an average everyday middle class guy. You want that?
Oh no, I am looking for a high value man.
Okay,
Absolutely.
time out. Why do you need a high value man with one child? Why do you need that?
At least one child.
I asked you how many children you wanted. You said one. So why do you need the money? Why do you need the additional income?
Well, because I don't necessarily need their income.
You're missing the picture.
It's not necessarily about their income.
Yes, it is. You're missing the picture. It doesn't matter what. Okay. How long have you been watching my channel?
Actually, this is my first week.
And what do you do for a living?
I'm a licensed esthetician.
A licensed esthetician. So
yes.
You went to cosmetology school?
Correct. Okay. I went to trade school, yes.
Right. So you didn't have to go to college for that. So you can have your own business. Okay. A high value man in Boca Raton. How far is that from Miami?
About 50 minutes, 60 miles.
Right. But Boca Raton is still an affluent part of Miami, Florida, right?
Yes, it is.
Right. Mm-hmm. So what's the cost of living in Boca Raton? Cost of living calculus.
One bedroom, roughly $1,600.
Okay. So why do you want a high value man?
I feel like it would be a reflection of who I'm trying to be as of right now.
Say again?
It would be a reflection of me. More so for stability, rather than the children. I feel like it would be about stability.
Mm-hmm. So a reflection of who you're trying to be.
Correct.
But are you high value?
Did the whole struggle
are you high value?
Situation.
Okay, so struggle of again. These are terms. So, are you a high value woman?
Actively striving to elevate myself. Yes.
Are you a high value woman?
Yes, I would say so. I am.
Okay. What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? Just your looks. You can't use 7.
I would say an honest 8.
So you put yourself up there with Beyonce.
Oh, if Beyonce is an 8, then I would have to be a 6.
Right. So I ask this question all the time. Why would a high value man earning high value income in South Florida, where the women are young and beautiful, want a 33-year-old woman who lost 50 pounds 2 years ago,
mm-hmm.
who only wants to have one child? Or you can go get a 21-year-old who's been 120 pounds her entire fit life.
Mm-hmm.
See, you're thinking about what you want, but I just gave you the other side of it.
Okay.
And the answer is?
Well, honestly, if you don't mind, Kevin, me picking your brain, at 33, where it's like I'm entering the danger zone, what should I be striving to?
I think you should strive for what you are, average.
Okay.
You're an average person. You're an esthetician. You're not a brain surgeon. Do you own
Correct.
your own business?
Yes,
Do you own your
I'm
own?
contracted.
Okay. Do you own your own brick and mortar?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm mobile.
Right. Do you have any employees?
Nope.
All right. So you're a solopreneur. An
Yes.
esthetician is like a barber.
Okay.
Okay. So that's not a high profile career. You can make money. It's like being a masseuse, a nail technician. You know, if you owned a business to where you had people renting space for you, but you're 33 and
Okay.
you give yourself a 6, and women traditionally
Well,
overrank
if
themselves.
Beyonce is an 8.
Well, yeah, and I can't see you, but I do this enough to know that women generally overvalue themselves, and you're overvaluing yourself.
Okay.
High value men want 8s, 9s, and 10s, and they can afford to get them and wait till they get them. What you want is a high value lifestyle that you can't afford. You want a high value lifestyle that another man has worked to achieve, and you want him to give that to you for what? What is he getting out of that? Is he getting a fair deal?
He's getting a woman who's not a headache.
Is he getting a fair deal
Someone
though? But
who
is he
is
getting a fair deal? Men look at deals in terms of women's beauty, their youth, uh, their fertility, their femininity, their cooperative, their submissiveness, their ability to be led.
which I
Would you?
feel I have.
Okay.
Yes.
Would you? Would you? If you are you a Christian?
I'm not. No.
Okay. The marital vows. Would you say love, honor, and cherish, or love, honor, and obey?
Love, honor, and obey.
Okay. 33 years old, ma'am. You can't ask for what you're asking. 33 years old,
Okay.
to
I
ask for what
appreciate
you're
your
asking,
honesty.
you need to be pretty, beautiful, or gorgeous to ask for a high value man, because that's what those men are looking for. You can want it,
Okay.
ma'am. I'm just saying you can want it, but realistically, when I asked about plumbers and those kind of guys, blue collar guys who have stable jobs, you said, "Oh no, I want a high value man." And see,
No, I'm not restricted to that at all. Maybe I didn't hear
well, that's
your
good as long
question
as, well,
correctly.
because I said, "Do you want a high value man, or would you be all right with an average man?" You said, "No, I want
Oh
high
no,
value."
I'm absolutely
Okay.
no,
Well,
I'm
you
absolutely
said you
fine
would
with
want you said you want high value. You said you want a high value man because you feel like there will be a reflection of who you're trying to be.
no, I definitely wouldn't overlook blue collar at all.
All right. Well, that's pretty much in your lane, man. That's in your looks lane.
Okay.
All right.
I appreciate your honesty. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
You know, uh, Auntie Mac. See, a lot of people.
Hi.
Hello. A lot of people have not ever really just been had the conversations. Women tend to tell each other the best things. Oh, girl, you look good in that. Oh, those extra pound. How are you? You muted yourself. Unmute. You say hello.
Sorry, I didn't know if you were
Oh, I'm
talking or
talking to
not.
you. So, hey, how are you? What did I get wrong?
I don't think you're wrong. I personally am spiritual, religious, whatever you would call it, but I am 22. I have a 1-year-old.
Uh oh.
Um,
Where's
yeah,
the
I
where's the
screwed
child's
up.
father?
He's around. He's very active.
Are
He's
you
helping.
were you married?
I was not.
So you're a baby mama.
I am. Yep, I messed up.
Hey, I'm just saying that's what it gets called.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so I kind of I had the wake up, quote unquote, while I was pregnant
Okay.
of all the reasons why you shouldn't be a baby mama when I was already a baby mama.
Right.
So
Now you didn't know that
now
before?
I've never really
Were you raised with your dad?
I wasn't, but my mom was married
Mm-hmm.
to my dad, but it was a abusive situation. So she left him when she was pregnant with me. So I never really was raised with
But
him.
you knew. I mean, you're 22. You live in this country. You know it's
Mhm.
better to have two-parent household. I mean, you didn't know that?
It's not that I didn't know it. It's more so it's like
Did you go to college?
I am finishing college currently,
Okay, what are you getting your degree in?
finance,
And then what do you plan on doing with your degree?
being a financial
And
analyst.
what does the father do? Was he in school?
No.
What does he do?
He just does like construction work and stuff.
So you are a college student and got pregnant by a guy who came up to the campus?
It was somebody who was also in college, but I knew him since like high school, and it was more so stupidity on my end of um
How many girls did you see
not
walking
being
around?
too
So
careful.
what do you go? Is it a commuter college that you go to, or is there dorms and stuff?
No, I went to community college.
Community college. So are you getting a associates or are you getting a bachelor's?
Oh, now I'm getting a bachelor's through my job, like on online school. But before I was going to community college.
All right.
Sorry.
So ultimately, what did you have? What did you want to bring into this? Because at 21 years old, 21 or 22?
22.
22 with a 1 year old, a boy or a girl.
Girl.
Why didn't you just marry this man?
Um, as I said during my pregnancy, I saw all of the quote unquote mask come off, and he is not marriage material at all. And yeah, it was. I
I don't
don't
know what
really
that
know.
means, ma'am. You had a baby with the man.
I got pregnant, and then he decided to.
How old is he?
He's 24. I got pregnant, and he decided to have three girlfriends on the side of me during my pregnancy. That's why I didn't want to marry him.
Well, and what state do you live in?
Texas.
Let me be brutally honest with you, ladies. 21 or 22 years old with a 1 year old, you basically screwed the pooch. You picked the man you decided to carry a child to term for. No one accepts I was young and I made a mistake. That excuse does not work anymore. A child gets born because a woman wants to carry a child to term.
So what is done at this point?
Well, you have to truthfully, you're gonna have to accept that you have seriously impacted your chances of, well, high value men are pretty much out. I mean, how tall are you?
I'm 5'4",
Dress size?
6.
Okay. High value men are effectively out. Even if you were pretty. No one wants to raise another man's child, much less a loser. So that's what you've done. And struggle as though you may, try to widget it around, guys will take you out. Guys will make you a side chick, a friend with benefit. But to get the ring of a high value man is going to be like hitting the lottery. Because why would somebody, this again, there are women out there who don't have children and baby daddy, I mean, reasonably, why would a man want to be a stepfather and not have the full authority when he's going to have full responsibility for that child? So,
Well, I actually just ended a relationship like about a month ago. I dated him for about 6 months,
How old is your
and
child?
she's 1.
God damn.
Yeah, it was somebody that was basically waiting for their chance.
Well, hold on. Let's not just be a cavalier about that, man. You also wanting to get back on the ride. Can't just let you just.
What do you mean by that?
I can't just let you come through and throw a shot at a man like that. If I was waiting to get their chance, were y'all intimate?
No, not well, towards the end of the relationship, yes.
Right.
But I'm saying I knew him for like
exactly.
5 years.
So you needed somebody to help you get over your BD as well.
No, not at all.
Okay. Right. Anyway, we keep on moving. Net of it is 22, 1-year-old. You have effectively removed high value men. You could get a degree in finance and be a financial analyst and making $60,000 a year and have a white collar job. But a guy who's making 100,000 plus is going to go pick a woman with no children.
So you think women with children, period, don't have a chance?
Not for high value men. Not unless you're pretty, beautiful, or gorgeous. Now you have a son or a daughter. Which one is it?
I have a daughter.
A daughter. Well, if you got a high value man, would he be able to discipline your daughter like he was his? Would he give her a whooping if he needed to?
Yes.
He would be able to.
Yes, because I grew up with a stepdad.
Okay,
so
and your BD would have nothing to say about it.
It wouldn't matter.
Yes, it would, ma'am. See, I've been.
It wouldn't
See, let me
matter
explain. Let me
because
explain something.
it
So let me
wouldn't-
explain something to you. I've been a stepfather, and I've had to deal with a crazy ex-husband. I've seen this, man. Understand something. I know what you want to tell yourself. That I was young, I made a mistake, I'm a good woman, I'm cute, and there's somebody who's going to give, okay, ma'am, sure, you could hit the lottery, but more likely than not, you're not going to get a high value man. Because what do they want? Do the men that you think, the kind of men that you want, do you want to have more children?
I'd be open to it.
So the answer is no.
I would be able to. I'm saying I would be able to open to.
Do you want to
1 or
have
2
more children? That's a yes or no.
Yes.
Okay. Women who want to have more children don't say they'd be open to it.
I'm saying I would be open to it because if I came across a man who didn't want children, I would be fine with not having any more children. But if he did want children, I would be open to having 1 or 2 more children.
You'd be open to having what?
1 or 2 more children.
1 or 2 more children. Okay. Again, I get it. You had a stepfather. Different generation, different times. Men aren't doing that like that anymore. People aren't even getting married like they used to. I know what you want to hear, man. But the marital rates for unwed mothers in the Black community is atrocious. A husband is what you can expect. Do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant again?
I would like to work in the future, but I would like to take like 2 or 3 years off to
Again,
take care of
so that the answer is no. That means that man needs to be able to make enough money to cover you, replace your income, pay for your daughter, the new baby, and him. That means in Texas, you're going to be talking about a man who's making $200,000 or more. And men that make that kind of money don't go marry baby mamas. Why is that so troubling or difficult for you just to accept?
So it's not necessarily troubling for me to accept. It's just, I basically, you're saying no matter what I do.
No, ma'am. Of course, now, come on, ma'am. Let's be reasonable. I'm not Karnak. I can't tell the future. I'm giving you the odds and the predictions of statistics. I cannot say with 100% certainty, but what I can say is this. Men with options choose women that don't have children. They can wait. They don't have to pick you. Why are you still trying to put this square peg in a round hole? Here's the thing. You knew you were having a child before marriage, and you chose to do it anyway. You knew there was going to be a consequence with that. Yes or no?
Yes.
Or or not. Or did you think, hey, it's no big deal. I got a kid, but everybody got kids, so it's really not that big a deal. I mean, I'm going to school and get my finance grant. I can take care of it. So you know what? It's all good. I mean, I know there are some women out there that think like that too.
The way that I viewed it was more so it would be harder for me alone as a single mother, because I've seen my mom during the single mother phase before she was remarried. So I knew that part would be hard. But as for actually finding someone to marry, I've never really heard that being an issue.
Exactly. Well, let me tell you, welcome to reality. It's an issue. Men don't want to be stepfathers. And by choosing to have a child before marriage, I say it again, you have effectively ended opportunities to get high value men. Now, what's wrong with getting a man who's just average middle class, driving for UPS, working for
So
the Hormel plant or something, making $40,000-$50,000 a year in Texas?
So for me, it's a lot. That's why I brought up the last relationship that I had that I ended a month ago.
What's wrong with it, ma'am? I got other people to get to. Please, would you deal with that or not?
I can't deal with the mentality
No,
of
you can't.
stagnation.
No, you can't. So in other words, you're a woman, a young woman who had a baby outside of marriage. You're a baby mama, and because you're going to school and a financial analyst, you think you should have somebody on your level higher. That's hypergamy. I understand, ma'am, but you're not going to get it. You're overvaluing yourself. That's the thing. So many of our sisters drastically overvalue themselves. What would you rank yourself on the looks scale from 0 to 10? You cannot use 7.
I mean, you just said Beyonce was 8.
Yes, because she is. What would that make you?
I'm sorry.
What would that make you?
I would say that would make me a 7, but you just said
No,
I
you
can't
can't use 7. Because I'm a professional image consultant and I do this in real life. See, I'm a professional at what I do and I'm good at what I do. See, what I've done is I've given you reality that you have not paid for. If you had to pay me, I'd be telling you the same thing. Ma'am, at best, you're probably a 6 because you're not an 8 at Beyonce level. I can't use 7 because every average looking or cute woman tries to give herself more points. But at a 6, what does your child cost you? If you're a 6, what does your child cost you? Does it give you a point?
No.
Does it cost you something? What does it cost you?
I wouldn't know because it would depend on
it costs you points. It costs you points. Children cost 2 points. One child costs 2 points. 2 kids cost 3 points. So if you're a 6, you effectively dropped yourself down to 4. That's unattractive. An unattractive woman for a high value man. Ma'am, understand, you want a man who's making 6 figures plus to you to not be able to work. And you don't know these men, but if you go talk to these men, they'll tell you they don't want women who are baby mamas. And they don't have to pick them. If every black man in this country got married tomorrow, 2 million black women would be left over. You need to level set where you really are in this marketplace and get realistic. Or go on the other side and you will become what I consider to be an eternal 7. Go look at the video. But that's what you're sounding like. A woman who has a degree, who's cuter than most, young, and you'll go bouncing around in relationships for the next 8 years. And by the age of 30, you'll be one bitter woman.
So instead, I should settle for
no,
somebody.
ma'am. No, first off, let me take that word out of your vocabulary. Settle. Someone is settling for you. Someone raising another man's child is settling for you. See, that is one thing you women got really twisted. Take that out of your vocabulary. You have a child for it by another man. You are no prize. I'm sorry, man, but that's just the way it is for all women. A man coming to take care of another man's offspring is settling. That's a beta male move. I've done it. You baby mamas got it really twisted. I understand you can love your child and your child is special, but all it is to another man is a damn bill.
And what's the difference?
All right, that's it. Okay. That's it. You're not gonna listen.
No,
It's not gonna listen.
Yeah, she definitely was not listening. And what's interesting about this part is this woman is coming into the game, one child at 1 year old, a 1 year old child, like just that off rip. Any man coming into this situation is already at a disadvantage. Not only does she have a 1 year old child, now she's requiring the man that's going to deal with her to make a substantial amount of money. And I don't know where this notion of a 9 to 5 guy not being worth it or settling for a 9 to 5 guy. Listen, this man is probably going to work, working 60 hours a week. Probably even some even knocking in 70, going all out. And you tell me he's gonna do all of that work, right? Turn around, have to come home for a woman like this to tell you that you're not good enough? And then turn around and have to take care of her child as well? How are you settling for him when he's clearly settling for you? He could put in and work as hard as he can and have all of that flipped on him because he doesn't make $300,000 a year. It's just insane. This woman is completely out of her mind. She needs to have some humility, ground herself, step out into the real world, and understand that you are the one that people are settling for. Because a man has to now come in this situation, speak to another man that you probably are not too fond of because you guys aren't together. So now he has to come in, speak with another man about ways in which they could move forward with a child, either disciplining, just coming to a mutual agreement, whatever the case may be. Then he has to turn around, make tons of money a year just to keep you happy. Men aren't doing that in mass. And if that was the case, men are just going to be deductive problem solvers. They're going to look at it and weigh their options. Okay, I'm with this woman. She's kind of cool. She's pretty. I like her a little bit. She has a child. Okay. You know, every time I need to date her or we need to go out, she needs to find a babysitter or whatever the case may be. Versus the woman that doesn't have any children, younger, doesn't require a man to make $500,000 a year. She's okay if he makes 50. That woman would be the woman getting all the money and the one actually getting the lifestyle. Because she's coming into this situation humbled. She's coming into this situation with at least more leverage than this woman is. Humility is one of the top things I think is missing these days for women like this. You need to be humbled. You need to know that if I have a child, most men aren't going to want that. And it was actually crazy that this woman would sit there and talk about settling. When before, back in time, some time ago, women would understand that I have a child by a man I'm no longer with. The next man that plans to come in and take care of me and this child, I'm going to be thankful for, because I know this is embarrassing. This child isn't his, and he's stepping up.
So, hey,
My question is, how can
what's your
a
first name?
younger Destiny,
Okay, go ahead.
how can younger women like me connect with an older guy? I was once
How old
in
are
a
you? How old are you?
26.
Okay. Connect with an older guy.
Yeah, I was dating a guy. He told me he was 35,
Mm-hmm.
but he ended up being 42.
Mm-hmm.
And the relationship just ended. So I just kind of felt like once I knew his age, I really couldn't connect with him, and I just didn't
Why?
know.
Why?
I
Well,
just felt
first,
like we.
let me. How old was he? 45.
No, he told no, he told me he was 35, but he
Mm-hmm.
ended up being 42.
So he was all of 9 years old. He was. He told you. He was, so
He
you're
told me he was 35.
and you're 26. So
Yes,
he
and he
told you
ended
he
up
was
being
9 years
42.
older than. Okay. So how old is? Where's your dad?
He's not in my life.
Exactly. Tell her what she wins, Bob. She wins a list of daddy issues. Because women worldwide tend to prefer to date older men, because older men tend to have already got all the game and stuff out of our system. We tend to be ready for relationships. We've had time to get out here and work and acquire resources. So, yeah. But if you didn't have a dad in your life, it's hard to look at a man, see what a man was supposed to do. What's the oldest man outside this last guy? What's your longest relationship?
A year and a half.
Uh, and how long ago was that?
That was two years ago.
And why did you guys break up?
I found out he had someone else.
He was cheating.
Yes.
How did you find that out?
Um, I was just over his place and she showed up.
Hmm. What'd she say?
Who are you? It was a big mess, and I'm just like, I just don't need it. I feel like I'm young enough to move on and
So
to find someone.
what's the oldest man you would want to date?
I would say 35, and
30.
I think that's why he said it.
Okay. And do you want to be married?
I do.
All right. Do you want to have children one day?
I absolutely do. Yes.
How many?
4 or 3.
Okay. And what city do you live in?
Kansas City, Missouri.
All right. Midwest. So, do you want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant with your first child?
I would say, yeah. I realize that we live in a world that it's almost required nowadays to live comfortably. So I wouldn't mind. I would definitely do that.
I said, do you want to have to though?
I don't want to have to, but I know realistic, I would.
Here's the problem with that answer. Most relationships break up. Uh, Money is cited as a problem, and women who say they wouldn't mind really do mind. And I'm just trying to ask you, what do you want? You mean you want to work until you're pregnant? You want to be on your feet working through the eighth month, 8 month and 2 weeks. Then you want to take off the last 2 weeks, go into labor, have a child, and then 12 weeks after you have that child, you want to go back to work. And then you want to do that again and get pregnant 3 to 6 months in the line and then do that again. And then another 3 to 6 months, get pregnant and do that again.
Yeah,
have 3 kids in daycare.
I have a profession between photography and massage that I can take my kids with me.
Oh shit! Here we go. Where it at? Massage therapist. God damn it! Are you an actress too? Yes.
No, I said photography and
Oh, of course.
massage.
So you don't have a real job. You don't have a real job.
Oh,
Sorry, man. My ex-wife was a massager. You don't have a real job. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm just getting. I know what I'm talking about. So all this, you don't mind working. You ain't trying to. Anyway, um, let's get right to the rubber meets the road. How much would a man need to be able to make to support a family and a wife with 3 kids to give him a middle class lifestyle?
I would say 2K, 250. Maybe yeah, 250. Maybe in the Midwest.
Okay, it's closer to 350, but that's all right. Um, I'm still trying to be stuck on the fact that you're okay with working. I don't really believe that. I just don't. But I'll take it that. But the thing is, you don't have a profession where you're going into work. So when you're thinking of work, you mean you would be all right trying to give deep tissue massages at 8 weeks at 8 months pregnant?
That's when I will do for more photography work.
Right. You're hoping you would do more photography work. How much money have you made as a photographer?
Um, Around 30,000.
Over what period of time?
A year.
$30,000 in 1 year. How much did you make as a massage therapist?
I'm still getting into that right now.
All right. So you're living on $30,000 a year.
Well, I also have a main job with doing post
You said
office, but yeah,
you said I mean, okay. How much do you make annually?
I make plus the around 80.
What's your main job?
Post office.
Government work.
Yes.
All right. Why is all this relevant, man? Because I need to understand how long have you been working for the post office?
I've been doing that for about 5 years now.
All right. So, and are you in the office? You a letter carrier? What kind of stuff we're talking about?
Letter carrier.
All right, ma'am. You're not. I find it hard to believe you want to be pregnant carrying letters at 8 months pregnant. And do you know anybody with children? Do you know anybody with kids?
Yeah, I have a lot of friends with kids.
How much is uh newborn newborn care monthly?
Say it again.
How much is newborn care monthly? Like daycare, that
Um,
kind of stuff. How much is that cost for a newborn?
I know some people I spoke to say it's about maybe 300, 200 a week, so roughly around almost 1,000.
For newborn care? Uh, do some Google searching, but I think your number is low.
No, I don't. I
Oh,
wouldn't
okay,
think
ma'am.
so.
I have a kid. I know the business. I'm talking. I didn't ask you questions. I don't ask questions I don't know the answer to. I just say I want you to go find it out yourself. But anyway, let's see. It sounds admirable, but if 3 kids in the Midwest, you're going to. If you're still looking for somebody to make $250,000 to supplement your income of whatever you're making, how much would you want to have to make annually in addition to your husband's income? How about that?
I want to make 100K.
What percentage of women in this country make $100,000 or more? What percentage of women in this country make $100,000 or more annually?
I'm not sure.
Guess.
Roughly 60.
See what I mean, guys? women don't know cost. 3% of women in this country make 3 to 4% of women in this country make $100,000 or more, and you say 60.
I'm almost there.
You just skipped over something that was very important to tell me how close you are. 3 to 4% of women in this country make six figures, and you're saying you're almost there. Congratulations, but and I mean no disrespect to what I'm about to say. I really need you to understand. I mean no disrespect, but the bulk of your income comes from unskilled labor. It comes because you're employed by the federal government. You didn't negotiate that salary. You didn't do any. You didn't go get any special skills to earn that money. You apply for a well-paying job with government benefits. But if you were to lose that job, do you have the skills to make $100,000 a year? And the answer is no. That's what I need you to understand.
Right.
And I need everybody to understand what your skills are worth. So I think you need to rearrange your idea of what money is, because you thinking women are that making that much money is is incredible. And why it's all important is because how old would a man need to be making around $250,000 a year?
I would say upper 30s.
Upper 30s. Right.
38, 40.
Right. So again, if you want a man who's a higher earner, you're gonna have to deal with older men.
And that's why I called in, just to see the connection. Could there be a connection dating an older guy? Because we have totally different
Well,
interests.
the thing is, you're gonna have to get on his. Well, the thing is, the connection is not for. It's for you to get on his plan. He's the commodity. He's the prize in this scenario. He's the catch, because he's the one that will be carrying the bulk of the financial load for the family. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't care about love and chemistry or anything like that. Marriage is a practical thing. It's a business.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're talking about makes no sense to me, especially when you start putting financial restraints on it. Are you used to men chasing you?
No. I think that these
It's not an. I mean, I'm
last
just.
two have been.
Go ahead.
They went after me, but no, I'm not used to it.
See, and what I said about getting on, it's a woman's job to look and see how she can nest in a man's situation. It's my job to provide a place for you to nest. I mean, if a man's having to go out and make $250,000, $300,000 a year, he's putting in hard work, long hours. He don't have time to try to romance you and all this other kind of stuff. He's putting in 12, 14-hour days. And this is one of the problems. I think so many of you young ladies really don't know what it takes to make the kind of money you're talking about. Think the kind of money you're talking about is a lot more available and easy. Case in point, you think 60% of women, thought that was a reasonable number to say 60% of women in the country make over $100,000. Then where are the poor women if the majority of women are making over six figures? You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And at 26, you should have a far more grown up look on life and relationships. If you want to have a middle class standard of life and due respect, you didn't go to college, right?
Yes, I did.
Did you graduate?
Yes.
And then you went to work at the post office?
Yeah, I was going into management.
What's your degree in?
Accounting.
How much student loan debt are you in?
I'm not in much. Roughly 10,000.
Okay. Why didn't you use your degree?
I just couldn't really get into anything, and that was a easy
You graduated. You graduated on time.
Did I graduate on time? No.
What year did you graduate?
Graduated 2015.
5 years, ma'am. You graduated on time, roughly. So in 5 years, you couldn't find an accounting job?
No, I couldn't.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
No.
Stop.
No, I really couldn't.
Listen. You went to college to get a degree for nothing then. And this is why dad is so important. There's no way in hell you should have gone to college, get a degree in accounting to go work at the post office. See, if you told me I couldn't get a job right out of school and I needed to pay bills, that's one thing. But you should have still been looking for an entry-level accounting job anywhere. But you took the easy path, the government money. But unfortunately, ma'am, that means 0 on your resume. If they were to lay you off next month, you would be an entry-level worker anywhere. You wasted 5 years of employment time. I get it. The money is probably more at the post office than you could have made as an entry-level accountant. But that's short term.
Mm-hmm.
See, if you had been doing entry-level accounting stuff, you could have actually been in a position to run accounting out of your home, a bookkeeper or something like that. Non-physical labor that you could do for a husband or a business, not physical labor as a massage therapist, not creative work that's extremely competitive and low end like photography. See, this is the difference with what a lot of non-black people do. Women are actually saying, you know what? I have a degree that can I actually work for someone, but I can also translate and work from home as a housewife. Or if my husband owns a business, I can be his bookkeeper. But you have no experience in that. And that's a gap. That's where men are so important because we don't allow you to just get out here and flutter around like you guys are doing just because the money is better.
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
I know. So when did you stop looking for a job in accounting?
For a while, once I
Exactly. So you didn't even try, man. You stopped trying.
Right.
Okay. So what I need you to hear is the kind of man you're talking about is a man that's driven. The top 5% of men in this country earn the kind of money you're talking about. The top 5%. And you're saying that I work at the post office. I'm a massage therapist working at the post office. I'm a photographer and I'm trying to become a massage therapist. And you're talking to a man who's structured, disciplined, and a high earner. And your stuff is all over the place. That's why when you said it, I already did 3 broadcasts on women that high value men avoid. And it's because of this chaotic, kind of flighty mindset. Men like the guys I described cannot see how you would be an asset to him. As what could he turn over to you? Even if he had a business, what could he turn over to you? What could you run for the business for the family? So
I mean, yeah.
So what I'm saying is, why are you becoming a massage therapist?
It's a business that is in my family. and eventually it's going to be passed down to me. I'm a spa, so just going to get into that trade.
Somebody already owns the business?
Yes,
Who?
my mom.
Can't make this shit up. So you're going to go get a massage. You're going to go get licensed with the state. How much is the average? How much is an hour massage in your city?
The average massage would be on the high end 80, so around 60, 75.
Yeah, 60, 75 at Massage Envy. $45, 45 to 50 at Massage Envy. So you'd have to, ma'am, my ex-wife was this, and I'm telling you, it's not a profitable business. It's a business of flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is fine as a single woman. Post office, photographer, massage, but you don't really have sound like you even have time to date with all this other stuff going on. Yeah, I would say book a session. There's too much going on here. I mean, but I don't foresee this ending well. Especially if your mom is a massage therapist.
No,
Do you have
she
any?
just
Do you have any
she owns a
sisters?
she owns a spa. Yeah, I
Okay,
own a sister. She just moved down to Dallas.
right. And where are all the men in your family?
My two brothers are
How
one
old
just
are they?
came back
How old are they?
20, 28, and then one is 25.
They're not men yet. You got a bunch. You book a session. Because if you don't correct this ship and get a course, a ditch is very likely in the future. Because it sounds to me like I have a family full of creatives, and no male structure. I've seen this picture before many times, many, and it doesn't end well.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
You know, this was the classic case of when you leave people to their own devices, they tend to self destruct. When you have a lack of a male presence, when you have a lack of leadership, when you have a lack of practicality, all of these things are missed out, on. And this is why fathers are so important in households, because at least if a father is there, maybe an uncle, maybe a brother, someone that's a bit older, they would be able to properly give the right instructions, or give the right path for someone. But once you're left to your own devices and you start making decisions, those decisions tend to not align with exactly what they want out of life. If you want a family, if you want to have some type of structure, you want to be able to do these type of nice things like go away on vacation and eat out at restaurants and things like that. There's no structure given. There's no instructions given. They're just doing whatever they want. They're walking around not knowing how much it's going to cost. They're walking around not knowing how to prioritize the person that's going to provide it for them. You have no information, but again, you just expect it to work. You just expect to snap your fingers together or slap your hands together and something is just going to appear from the sound. It's not going to. There needs to be more structure. There needs to be more there needs to be more of a masculine presence and leadership to show these women this is how you get things. This is what you should be worried about. This is what you need to think about. And there's not enough of that. Too many are just doing whatever they want, expecting to get the same outcomes as people who's putting in the work. But everyone, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Turn on post notifications so you will be alerted when we upload more videos just like this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.